Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to a slightly delayed introduction. First and foremost, apologies. We were just sorting out the lobby standings and everything, but we are going to go right into the action out on track here for short qualifying in Great Britain. The British Grand Prix about to go here tonight in EML. It is Season 7, it is Console 1, it is Round 7 of the Championship, and it is the British Grand Prix. My name is James Head. Going to be taking you through the stream, of course. Mike always going to be alongside me in the comment box. He'll be with me very shortly indeed. However, let's have a look through at the results from last week. And it was Danny Van Ruiten who kept the race win from that battle with Ryan, coming through turn number 12 on the final lap, taking that race win from Ryan in second, Tom Roberts in third, then Yasasaki Quartz, Namskull, Lawrence, Rick Gambe, Acid, who had a penalty, and crowding there down in the top 10. Let's have a look at the standings coming in tonight very quickly before we do get into qualifying. TML Esports are on top on 261 points. Then it's Team Chazoo in second on 211. NLR in third on 176.5. CPI are in fourth on 124. Then Team Extoya in fifth on 105. Grand Track 10 in 6th on 93, then Bunker Racing Team in 7th on 85.5, then Future Racing Team in 8th on 82, Top Team Motorsport in 9th on 70, and then Abyssial there in 10th on 55 points. Coming into tonight's action, this is who you're going to be seeing out on track. GT10 have got Mad Dogs and Course, the Frenchman and the Belgian alongside them. Karumi and Duncan, the all-French pairing there for Team EXT. Then it's Danny Van Ruiten and Tom. Very goated lineup, I've got to say, for Shazoo here tonight. Leonardo and Napple. Napple's got a qualifying ban for blocking in qualifying last week from CPI's perspective, so Napple takes the qualifying ban for them. Max Power and Ismail are in for EVE. Underrated lineup, I think, that for EVE. NLR, however, maybe even more underrated. Nordic Ninjas here along with NLR Kuhlman, the two PSGL PSF2 drivers, of course. Renz Thomason and ET8 Paul. Paul, of course, following me on social media earlier on. Thank you very much, Paul, for that. They are in for ET8. Dan and Agonised in for FRT, then Justin and Crowding in for BRT, and then Vettel and Josh Gilly rounding off the pairings there for TTM, the all-British pairing in the Haas. Let's go, though, out on track and see who is going to be taking part in this early stages of qualifying. And everyone is ghosted, which is good to see. That's the first thing that I was getting very concerned about. But Michael Edwards is alongside me in the comments box. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. On board right now with Renz Thomason as he's just coming through slow to get the first lap of the session underway here, James.
And let's ride on board with Renz Thomason, who is now coming through the right-hander of the club corner, now in toward the Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight, as it's now known, of course, running now down in towards turn number 1 at Abbey. Hopefully, I will get these corner names right. Through Abbey, through Farm, and then in toward the village at turn number 3. Of course, a much more degraded lineup around here tonight with this track, obviously getting reprofiled, resurfaced, everything like that on this current game, laser scanned, all sorts. Coming through Aintree Corner, you can see some of the changes being made, running down now the hill in towards Wellington, down the Wellington Straight in towards Brooklands, then in towards Luffield. 27.3 in the first sector from the Alpine. He is flying through the first sector right now as he comes in toward the right-hander of Luffield. Aidan Castle was there on the left-hand side, the British Grand Prix this show, now coming down in towards Woodcote and then down in towards Copse Corner, the flying fast part of this lap, pretty much halfway through the lap actually as we come through Copse. 170 mile an hour carry through. You can take that flat out. Ren's actually just having a bit of a squirm going midway through the corner there, but nicely done as he's now coming through Maggots, then in towards Beckett, then in toward the reprofiled section of Chapel, and then down the what's the straight called? Yeah, the hanger straight. Thank you very much. The hanger straight down in towards the right-hander of Stowe at turn number 15, then in towards Vale and Club. I was going to say Cops there, down in toward the left-hander of 16 and 17. This has looked a very decent lap so far by Renz Thomason. Really planted on the floor, this car, right towards the line now. Renz Thomason, 25.8, starts off the night. And if he knows his way better than me around this track, that's a good lap.
Yeah, it was a good lap. I think Renzo will definitely be looking at obviously through Cobb's corner. He did lose the back end momentarily, just a little bit, and he'll know there's a little bit of time there he can eke out of it. Danny Van Ruiten popping up into P2, 25.9. Nordic Ninja also at 25.9, and we're getting times coming in thick and fast now, James.
We are indeed. TTM Dottle, I can't even speak. EJ Paul goes quickest. I was about to say TTM Dettles right down at the back of the field, not to be confused with TTM Vettel, of course. Dettel there down in P12. Currently not cleaning up the opposition, I've got to say right now, down in 13. Paul out on top, though. Rens Thomason in second. Danny Van Mouten in third. Mike Edwards is now hanging his head in absolute shame after that pun. Isball is now just started up a run there down in 18th position in the Williams. He'll look to try and settle a very good lap time, of course, out on track. Let me tune into the comment section for the first time and see how you lovely people are doing there out on track. Sluffy Flipper, mouthful to say, I've got to say. Azumi saying there in the chat. Maze is in the chat as well. Jack Harrington in the chat, full of short qualifying. It is short qualifying, 18 minutes worth in length. And Mateo there saying Olon there in the chat, which I think is hello, potentially, that Mateo was trying to say there in the chat. So good evening to everyone. Hope you all doing well. And currently, Mateo will be happy, Mike, because E-Tate are currently 1-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Paul with a fantastic lap to get himself underway. Obviously, Renz, there's definitely a bit of time in his lap, so he'll definitely be looking to improve over the course of the remainder of the session. Still waiting for lap times to come in, though, from Agonize, Ismail, Tom, and of course Duncan. But we got Ismail coming down the hanger straight right now. It's 102.9 in the middle sector, James.
Yeah, nice and neat middle sector. I've got to say, another car that seems very much planted to the floor. My concern is he's got very much limited ERS. Now coming into the final part of the lap time, in towards turn 16 and 17. Of course, ERS definitely going to have to try and save as much of that as possible, especially in the right, as this one now comes on the run to the line. Goes 13th. In between, Cool Man, who's not so cool there down in 12th position, and Dettel there, he's not wiping up the opposition right now, in 14th. Mad Dog's mad with his lap time down in 15th. But we haven't had laps time in so far. For Agonize, Tom Roberts is going to call the police. The experienced Tom Roberts there in the Ferrari. And then EXT Duncan, of course, it's yet to set a lap time in. And Tom did say to me earlier on, and I saw a comment and I didn't reply back to him, but he did say, I'm going to call the police if James calls me experienced. So I've already done that once, and I intend on doing it all over again. So the police will be knocking on my door by the end of tonight.
I mean, as long as you both got experience, that's all that matters. We got experience in the commentary box. Tom's got experience out there on track, and Tom was about to get his lap underway. So let's see how good the experience comes into play.
Let's see how good he is. He has had, though, in real terms, he's had really good form in recent leagues. WR Legacy Division, PSGL, PSF1. He's picked up podium after podium after podium, I think, the last 4 weeks that I've been seeing. And Tom is definitely one of these guys that you want to have on your side. As I say, very goated lineup for Team Shazoo. Danny Van Mouten currently there in third. Let's see what Tom can do, though, at his home track. Now coming in toward the left-handed turn number 4. Slight rise up, actually, in toward the left-handed turn number 4 at the loop. And then through Aintree Corner, of course, where they used to host the Grand Prix back in the 1950s. Now, of course, hosting the Grand National, which is coming up in April next year, as Tom comes down in toward the left-hander of Brooklyn. So the 27.4 is good, but it's not quite calling.
I mean, I'm saying that, like, I was on board with Thomas. He was getting his lap underway, coming through turn number 1 at Abbey. He didn't seem enough over to the left-hand side of the track. He seemed pretty planted in the middle of the track on the corner entry side. I think he might have just scrubbed off a little bit of time there, maybe intentionally, just to get his eye in on the grip and just how the track is feeling.
Did you just call him Thomas, by the way, as well?
Thomas, yeah, most likely.
Alright, then we'll go with it. Thomas Roberts now, down in towards the right-hander turn number 15. He is looking quite good, though, in the middle sector. Well up there, 102.5, I think he matched in the middle sector. Oh, Neely gets caught out wide. Coming through Stowe, ongoing on their lap times. Obviously, just drivers setting on their lap times. Oh, flies through the curve, through Vale, now in toward the club corner. He's all over the shop, coming through the final corner. Tom has to try and get this car to the line. That's a 26 flat, despite that really scrappy final sector. He knows that he's got more in it because I just saw him wheel waggle, basically. And that is him very unhappy with that lap time. He is going to be ahead of Rens Thomason. I guarantee that if he gets another run in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think for Tom right there, he can look at that lap. You see that he's currently in P5. But no, he's got a fair few attempts there. I mean, through turn number 1 at Abbey, like I said, he was more in the middle of the track than over to the left to really open up the corner.
Danny! But... Sorry to cut you off, Mike. Danny Van Mouten has just nearly lost it coming through Chapel, and he's another one that is absolutely fuming with himself. Shazoo, trying to set the high standards here. Obviously, high standards being set in WR Legacy Division. They were leading the championship going into last night. Come out of it in the end, I think, down in 3rd position. So they really need to try and get up there. currently outperforming by Nordic Ninja. And Nordic Ninja, our admin, I've got to say, he's part of the admin team. No bias going to be shown towards from us in the comment box, at least from me here. But Nordic Ninja, coming through the final couple of corners, he is a specialist around this track, has done well on PSF2 around here, if I'm not mistaken as well. Nordic Ninja on the run to the line, goes second ahead of Renz Thomason. Renz has got something to think about.
Yeah, and Ren's on his lap was over 2 tenths down in the middle sector. He comes into the pit lane and decides to bail on his flying lap. We're seeing lap times coming in from FRT Dan up in the P4. Obviously, EVE Leonardo in 6th, and Coolman up into 7th, Karumni into 8th. So, I mean, Tom Roberts also under pressure. Same with Danny Van Roten. They've fallen down the order a little bit here.
Max Power now coming through the final couple of corners, hopefully at max power as he now comes through on the run toward the line. Good lap time for the EVE man, goes 8th position, 25.9, squeaks in past the 26ers, so good lap time there from him. Coolman there in 7th position, I think he's just came off his run, so improved there into 7th. Leonardo doing exactly the same thing as well, he improved into 6th position, of course, for the EVE team, but it's Paul out on top. Nordic Ninja in 2nd. Never thought I'd be saying that in my words, to be honest. Nordic Ninja, former Rising Lions man, now in 2nd for NLR. Renz Thomason there in 3rd. Interesting, though, Renz Thomason hasn't came out of the pit lane just yet to go on another run. Paul hasn't done the same thing either. He obviously, 25.6, is top of the bunch right now. But Renz Thomason, interestingly for me, hasn't came out of the pit lane just yet. And that might be rather tactical, I think, and rather good, I think, for ETA, because they could have that fresh set of soft compound tyres and an extra set going into the race.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't long come back into the pits after bailing on his lap, Renz and Thomason, but I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how long they're going to leave it now, whether or not they go out for another run. In fact, here we go, questions already answered. Renz is out on track.
Renz is out on track. You speak of the man, he comes out on track. He's now coming down in towards, I think, turn number 3. I'm aboard with Justin right now for BRT. Justin had a really, I'm not going to say diabolical qualifying session last night in Legacy Division. It's the wrong thing to say, but he had a very, very under pressure qualifying session. I think BRT personally did last night, and they're up against it here. Crowding, of course, having taken that qualifying ban. Napple, of course, for CPI taking that qualifying ban as well. Justin there in P14. He is going to be looking to try and hopefully get out of the way of one of the Ferraris that's actually inside of him, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. This is technically blocking and qualifying, even though he's on an outlap, but Justin is on the run down. It'll be very interesting to see. He is a specialist around this track. It's just whether or not he can actually try and improve towards the likes of Max Powell, the likes of Kuhlman, the likes of Leonardo, but he is going to go on his run very soon indeed. Quartz, however, is just about to finish off on a lap time. Through the final corner he comes in the Mercedes on the run toward the line, and he doesn't improve in the end, but it's a very minimal disadvantage that he had on his previous lap time. But Paul, Nordic Ninja, Renz Thomason currently in the top 3. Let's ride on board with Thomas Roberts coming through turn 1.
I mean, you go on board with Thomas Roberts as he goes to turn 1. He's going to absolutely hate us for saying that. But, I mean, we could call him experienced. Experienced Roberts, there we go.
Well, put it this way, honestly, I think he's going to be taking Team Jazoo potentially out of the rest of the championship, if we're calling them like this. For 500s up in the first sector from Tom. His middle sector and his final sector. His middle sector was perfect. His final sector was shoddy as anything. And now he has to try and improve that final sector especially. He lost for me 2, maybe even 3/10 of a second, I think, in that final sector. So now, coming down in towards Pop's corner, really has to try and get this flat. Beautiful, actually, coming through Pop. Slight slide coming out of the corner, but nothing too dangerous. Now coming up the hill into the right-hander of Maggots, and then to the left-hander now into the Beckett section of the chicane. Pretty much mirroring the S section, of course, in Japan these days as well. And Tom is up in the middle sector, but it's this final sector where he is going to be so strong. If he doesn't ride the curb, coming through the left-hander turn 16, this is going to be a very good lap. Danny Van Routen, his teammate, though, goes to the top of the bunch right now, and Tom Roberts not happy, maybe with me calling him Thomas Roberts, but Danny Van Routen out on top. Paul there in second, Nordic Ninja in third. Nordic Ninja responding, not yet. Paul is 700s up on Renz.
Yeah, Paul out there responding right now, coming through Stowe. Trying to keep it all valid, and lovely stuff there from ET8 Paul. Now into the Vale chicane, 4th gear for him as he tries to improve on his lap time to retake the provisional pole position. To the line he'll come, and it's a 25.5 flat.
That is a stonking lap from Paul. Compared to Danny Van Ruiten, a 10.5 difference right now in this qualifying session. That is a huge gap to have around a track here like Silverstone, where you can make mistakes, you can make all sorts of fudge jobs on your lap, but you can still try and get an improvement. That was how to take the final sector from Paul. This is, though, on board with Nordic Ninja. He is improving through the first sector. He's flying through Maggots and Beckett's. Nordic Ninja is flying in this lap time. 102.3, purple in the middle sector. So the Finn suddenly is going to come out of nowhere. Ryan obviously benched for Nordic Ninja here tonight. Now coming in toward the right-hander at turn number 15. Ryan will be looking on and thinking, God, he's filled my shoes all right. Nordic Ninja now into the left-hander turn 16. Now through the right-hander turn 17. Then through the right-hander turn 18 at Club Corner. On the run to the line. Does he go quicker than Paul? Not quite, but he stays third, and he's only 100th of a second of Danny Van Ruiten. Who would have thought it? Nordic Ninja, who was 0.8 of a second off these guys on the last game, is up 100th behind Danny Van Ruiten on this game.
It's an incredible improvement from the previous game cycle to this one for Nordic Ninja. That is without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, I think that is his session. It's going to be over and done with now. Same for ET8 Paul. I think Danny Van Ruiten has the opportunity of getting back out on track if he does exit the pit lane now, but we'll have to wait and see. And I think that is potentially him coming out or getting pulled back into the pit lane. I'm not sure.
He is... I don't know, because I'm on board with Leonardo, and I'm just trying to give somebody some roles right now. So bear with me for a second. Who was it you were riding on board with?
I was seeing if Danny Van Ruiten had time to come back out.
He is into the pit lane. He's in his pit box right now, so if we see a Ferrari pit mechanic move out, you might be right. I don't think he's got enough time. Paul's retired. Danny Van Ruiten, I think, might follow suit. He's coming out, but it's going to be tight. I think he's done... I think he's messed us up. I really think he has. He has. It's a minute and 20 coming out of the pit lane. Unless you cut every single corner on the track, no chance of getting another lap time in. And he's just cut the pit lane exit as well.
Maybe Shazoo tactic and a slipstream on the Hangar Street?
Maybe. And obviously Tom's down in 11th right now. We'll see how obviously they translate that. It's going to be interesting. Tom, to be fair, is starting up on his lap time. So unless they're thinking about slipstream in the final sector, they're pretty much 40 seconds apart right now on track. So I do not see that happening at all. As Nordic Ninja there comes into the pit lane to retard the car. He's done enough there in third position. Leonardo, however, the Italian for CPI, former EVE driver, now joining the CPI ranks, of course, for the second half of the season. Now into the left-hander of Maggots and Beckett, flying through Maggots and Beckett's, nearly cutting the corner a little bit too much there from Leonardo, but he's flying through the middle sector. Should be around a 102.3 in the middle sector, or 102.5. He is up, though, in this final sector, coming into the final sector now, as it comes into the right-hander now of turn 15. We'll see what Leonardo can do. Dan, Renz Thomason, I think, is going to be the one to watch out for on a lap time as well. Leonardo had a bit of a mistake coming through there, or he leans completely coming through Stowe. Now in towards Vale and Club. On the run to the line for Leonardo. Does improve quite substantially in the end. Renz Thomason, though, Mike is the man to watch on board with. He is he's a 10th up through the first sector. Now coming through the middle sector split, Renz Thomason is absolutely charging. He's 2.5 tenths up.
Yeah, and Tom Muller's just up the road from him as well. Was a 10.5 up. Remember, all of his time was in the final sector that he lost. Yeah. So this will be very close at the front now, James.
Let's run on board with Tom. Coming through the final couple of corners. We'll see what the Brit can do. Now through the final corner on the run to the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. That's more like it from Tom. Goes second, but to what avail? Renz Thomason just blows it out of the water. 25.440. Great lap time from him. Dan improving as well. He's a 10th up in the middle sector. Through the final sector, 10.5 up. Only manages 6th. Coolman invalidated. Max Power now coming through the final couple of corners. I think Karumi is just behind him as well, but an invalid lap time. Max Power now through the final couple of corners. On the run to the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. He goes 9th position. Not sure why he haven't got game audio. Apologies about that. There we are. It's back. And that, I think, with Justin now coming on the run toward the line, 3.5 tenths up. Oh, I'm not sure where it went. P7. P7 for Justin. I did say he was experienced around this track, and in the end, he's proven that in P7. But who else? Who else but the man who took the race win here in PSGL PSF1? Renz, Thomas and Ad on top. ET8 have cooked there with a 1-2. Team Shazoo, though, 3 and 4. Very interesting play, I think, in qualifying. Now going into the race with Tom and Danny in 3rd and 4th. Nordic Ninja there in 5th, then Dan in 6th, Justin there in 7th, Leonardo there in 8th, Agonize in 9th, and then Max Power run off the top 10. Then it's Quartz and Kuhlman run off the top 12. Karumi, Duncan, Josh Gilly ran off the top 15. Dettel couldn't wipe away the opposition there in 16th. Ismail, Mad Dog, and then Crowden and Napple, of course, with their qualifying band. We are going to go, of course, for a restart between lobbies, get everything set up. Crowden, of course, is going to be the man who does that. We're going to be back with you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back, everyone, to League Racing TV, to EML. It is console tier 1, and we are going for round 7 of the championship. It is the British Grand Prix. Myself, James Head, and Michael Edwards, the Welshman, I've got to be honest, in the commentary box amongst us. But coming into tonight, Mike, a fantastic qualifying session there. The top two teams dominating. ET8 out on top from Team Chazoo in terms of the championship as well. How are things going to play out? Is it going to be extremely tactical right from the get-go between both teams, given how they're separated by 50 points?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be nothing but tactics between ET8 and Team Shazoo. I mean, we saw it plenty of times last season, and we're getting geared up to see it again this season.
We are indeed. And do you know what? I'm actually really excited to see how Team Chazoo can try and fight back, because ultimately I think Ren Thomason is going to walk away with this race. But I also think Team Chazoo are going to have a very consistent race in behind and score big, big points. And if that's the case, and they outperform ET8, it's going to be really intriguing, I think, to see how that all gets coaxed about within the final 3 rounds of the championship after tonight. So it is going to be very much interesting. And I mean, NLR not entirely out of it either. 176.5 points. They had a really good race last week in Spain and proven that with Ryan's P2. Kept that P2. Could have easily been a P1 if Danny Van Rijten just moved across a little bit slightly on Ryan and caused that bit of contact even more. But in the end, it was a racing incident. That's how the stewards found it. And NLR still in third in the championship. CPI fourth on 124. Team Exorian fifth on 105. And Grand Track 10 in sixth on 93. Bunga Racing Team in 7th on 85.5. Then Future Racing Team on 82. Top Team Motorsport in 9th on 70. And then Abyssial there in 10th on 55 points. We're going to bring you now to the live on-track action, which is going to be going very soon indeed. What are the top 3 predictions there in the chat? Nordic Rens and Mr. Experience there in the chat for Jack Harrington. Didn't call him Thomas Roberts. Boo on you. Luke Rapata has gone Danny, Rens and Tom, or Danny and Rens swap. And her cursor there in the chat has gone Ismail. So he has gone Ismail potentially for the race win as well. But Mike, who are you going for your race winner?
I'm going to go with Rens for the race win. And then I'm going to go with Tom second, Danny third. Double Shazoo podium.
Interesting. That's how I think it's going to play out. I think Rens is going to win. And it's going to be a double podium. And I think Danny and Tom probably will be second and third in that order. So am I agreeing with you for the first time ever?
It feels weird. I don't think we should agree.
We will agree to disagree, I think, maybe, potentially, in terms of how this race is going to pan out. It's going to be really intriguing, though. CPI did fantastic team tactics last night in Bahrain. They could easily do exactly the same thing. Their drivers are spaced about up and down the field, but CPI could easily get into this as well, potentially have a threatening impact on NLR. Coolman and Nordic Ninja were certainly up there in the standings as well. But we are going to get going very, very shortly indeed. Drivers are just loading their setups, loading up their tyres, everything like that. We will go in about a minute's time, hopefully. And hopefully that go-ahead will be given by somebody in the admin team. Because I'm just too busy commentating and waffling on right now to try and get everyone to ready up. But we should be we should be getting going even very soon indeed. But Mike, you were missing last week. Isn't it nice to have the guys back in F1 24 cars?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to see back in the F1 and 24 cars. Obviously, it does make the pit strategy now less RNG than what it was at the start of the season, where of course you might end up double stacking. But we're going to the 5 red lights, James.
5 red lights, that was absolutely perfect. Now going for the British Grand Prix, and it is lights down the way we go. And Rens Thomason gets a fantastic start. Tom alongside Paul as well off the line. He has a little bit now to think about, because Danny Van Rijten is nearly side by side with his own teammate through turn number 1, but Rens leads through turn number 1 with Paul there in second, Tom there in third, but Tom dives it to the inside line. There's contact actually, and Paul actually gets forced off track. I'm not sure. Maybe he's got an issue with Paul. They're down in P20. Rejoins right at the back end of the field. Tom, nearly goes into Nordic Ninja. Nordic Ninja coming out of that as well. Paul has left the session. A little bit of desync going on there from Paul's perspective. So that is a real shame. Now coming down into the left-hander of Brooklands. It is literally double stacking everywhere. Coming through in towards Luffield. Rens Thomason's away. Danny Van Rijten in second. Tom there in third. Not sure if that was just purely desync of Tom. Did make contact with Paul. Very strange in our end, but they come down in towards Cups for the first time. Rens leads. Danny Van Rijten in second. Tom in third.
Yeah, very, very strange. There, I did see Paul rejoin the session, so I think he's back in now. There was a message in the chat asking to re-invite him. I think he has rejoined. If he hasn't, we'll make sure we get an invite sent out to him ASAP. Just let us know on that. But Dan Rowden and Tom Roberts getting off very well, as does Ren Thomason up in front. Dan with a good start as well. Same with Quads up in the P5.
And Karumi up the inside line adjusting as well. Paul is back in the sessions. Whether or not that we can continue on with frame rate drops and everything, that'll be the big question now, as Agonize goes all the way around the outside of Nordic Ninja, who got absolutely shut off at the pass by Tom Roberts there. Down in third position. Paul has left the session once again, so not sure if he is having further issues. Mike, if you can get onto that and try and invite him, that would be brilliant, as Nordic Ninja and Agonize are side by side, which is why I can't invite them right now. Now from the left-hander of Aintree, in towards the Wellington straight once again. Nordic Ninja gets a phenomenal run. He could get 2 for 1. Actually running down the straight here on Agonize, on Kuhlman as well. And Nordic Ninja, hand and Rage being picked up there by the Finn. When does a Finn not Rage? As Nordic Ninja goes on the outside line of Agonize. Agonize all over the curb there, coming in towards Luffield. And Nordic Ninja is back behind Agonize. Agonize through his intercept, and it's agony for Nordic Ninja in the end.
Yeah. Absolutely agony for Nordic Ninja. Lifeboat saying he can't take control of his car. I am going to quickly send a friend request to Paul and see if I can, we can try and get him back in the lobby, and hopefully he can retake control of his car. But we will have to wait and see.
He's back in control now by the looks of it. It's just whether or not, I know the game does this, and it's absolutely a pig's ear, and there's nothing we really can do to try and negate anything. Of course, ETA do want to restart. I totally understand about that. But in the end, these things do happen, and most races don't get restarted, and then drivers have to retire forcibly into the pit lane. So it is a real shame. I've got to say, it's an absolute real shame for Paul, but with the hand that we've been dealt, and Kuhlman's round coming through in towards Club Corner, may have been contact there with Agonize and Josh Gilly potentially. He was around about that sort of area. Big hole now, actually, in that gap between Nordic Ninja and Agonize. Ren's leading the way. Danny Van Ryten in second, Tom there in third. Everything up the front end is going according to plan. Lovely helicopter shot. Not sure who put this in, but this is an absolute gorgeous qualifying shot. Helicopter shot running down in towards Brooklyn's on board with Tom Roberts. Now coming in towards Luffield. One of the best camera angles I think I've ever seen in this game.
Absolutely, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get that kind of a camera angle right there, James. I got kind of done over with the rear wing camera angle, but I'm not gonna lie. Seems like everything now beginning to just settle down a little bit now, which is good. As Quartz closing up to the back of Dan for P5, as you got Danny Van Roten over the back of Ren's here for the race lead.
And he is going to overtake maybe down in toward the right-hander now of Stowe, and he goes on the outside line, easy as you like. Danny Van Roten leads, and out goes Tom to the inside line, and Renz. Needy forces Renz in for a bit of a squirm there. Kuhlman right down the back of the field with Paul, so hopefully everything's okay on Paul's end. Obviously, if he can't take control of his car, it is the game rather than our fault, to be honest, in the end. But Danny leads the way from Renz in second, Tom there in third. Danny sets the fastest lap of the race as well. Everyone, by the way, apart from Napple, who's on a set of softs, everyone else is on a set of medium compounded tyres. Tom is hassling the back of Renz, coming through in towards coming out in towards Village, and then the loop at turn number 3 and 4. Tries to go all the way around the outside of the bridge on the back of the Dutchman, but it's the Dutchman that hangs on. Tom Roberts there in third is there to play. Team Chazoo looking for their 3rd win in the season. E-Tech looking for their 5th win in the season. Could be 3 wide down the straight. Ren's now getting boxed in on the outside line now. Coming in towards Brooklands. Tries to go all the way around the outside. Now for the inside. The opponent's going to come to him. Coming through Luffield. Danny Van Mountain has to stay in behind. Renz Thomason. Beautiful move in the end. Gets the race lead. But now, look at FRT Dan. Look at Quartz. Look at Leonardo. They're right in this.
Yeah, absolutely. The top 4, the top 5 all bunching up with each other. And look at this. Here goes Dan side by side with Tom Roberts. He backs up before the entry into Maggots and Beckett. Smart there from Dan. You definitely do not want to go side by side through there.
And it's getting extremely tactical early on between ETA and Team Chazoo out in front. Renz is going to be bullied potentially by both Team Chazoo drivers. But he now has to forfeit the race lead because Danny there leading the way now. Tom right on the back of Renz again in towards Stowe. Doesn't matter what run the apex ever so slightly, but gets a phenomenal run. Coming through the Luffield now in towards Vale and Club even. I'm messing up my words completely tonight. Switch back to the Sentry. Danny Van Ruiten allowed to get away by 0.5 of a second. Renz there in second. Tom there in third. But Team Shazoo's tactics are simple. Try and raise hell on Renz Thomason as Paul unfortunately has to disconnect from the session. And as I say, there is not much you can do about not taking control of your car. We could have had a restart, but 9 teams would have complained. It's as simple as that. So our hands are drawn.
Yeah, absolutely. As Dan now starting to put the pressure on Tom here, as Tom did tap the rear end of Renz Thomason there, so I'm not sure any front wing, but definitely interesting that Tom Roberts is just tapping the rear end of the Alpine in front of him.
Quartz trying to go around the outside now, and Dan running all the way on the curb on the outside. That was rumble strips quite literally there for the GT10 man, and now he's under pressure on Leonardo. He's on the pressure and on the front foot compared to Dan as well. So Quartz is looking pretty good in the Mercedes. The Ferrari leading the way though, Danny Van Ruiten in the lead. Renz Thomason in second, Tom Roberts there in third. Dan there currently down in fourth position. Running now down in towards the right-hander of Stowe once again. Leonardo on the back of Quartz once again. But everyone in line of stern formation. There is further battles going on up and down the field. Agonized side by side. Nappel side by side with Dettel. Tries to go and clean him up all the way around the outside, but doesn't manage to move. Nappel there on the outside line for CPI. Holds on to the position. They're down in 13th. Nordic Ninja getting absolutely done out as well. And they're both in the wall. They are both in the wall. Nordic Ninja's out of the race and Karumi out of the race as well. And that is a safety car. Safety car deployed on lap 5 out of 26. In one of the weirdest places to crash on the circuit, Karumi and Nordic Ninja get caught in each other and go straight on through the final corner. One of the most weirdest incidents I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it looks like they just touched wheels and just got caught onto each other, dragged off left into the gravel, into the wall. Both drivers out of the race, and the safety car deployed here, lap 6 of 26, James.
It is 0.5 of a second between Danny and Renz. It has now brought a little bit of a curtain call over the race right now, with the safety car being out on track. Everyone on the set of medium compounded tyres, apart from Naffel, obviously starting on that set of soft compounded tyres. There are quite a lot of people, though, especially from ET8, and I totally understand why they would be complaining. I would be complaining as well if I was in the same position. But it's as simple as this. If Legacy Division did this, or if any other team event did this as well, which I have seen, and I do commentate on them, and I am fully aware of the rules and regulations in those team events, the protocol is, obviously, Paul disconnected, coming through the left-hand turn number 4, I think it was, made that bit of contact with Tom. He disconnected, can't take control of his car. It's not my fault he can't take control of his car. It's not the lobby hole's fault that he can't take control of his car. It's the game's fault. So if you're mad at anybody, you should be mad at Codemasters, because it's like this in every single team event that you go to. You see drivers disconnecting all the time. You see drivers wanting to try and do the best they can, but get hindered by the game. And that's exactly what we've unfortunately seen with Paul, from my perspective. So that's why there's not going to be a restart. And if you call for a restart, it is simply not going to happen. So do us a favour, listen to the stream, listen to us in the admin team, and we will have a look, of course, at everything surrounding Paul and his disconnection and not being able to take control of his car. We'll get his POV and review it, and then it will better inform us for later on in the season. But right now, our focus is on the race. Max Power leading the way, from Danny Van Ruiten there in second, Renz Thomason there currently in third position. And interestingly, Mike, Max Power is the one that has stayed out in a set of mediums. Yeah,
stayed out in a set of mediums. Obviously, thinking that maybe it's a bit too early to make that jump onto the hards, and he wants to extend his mediums just a little bit longer. Interestingly, though, obviously you got CPI Nabal there in 11th. He's on a set of mediums, and then 2 sets of soft tyres for Kuhlman and Dedel at the back of the field. They're going to be rapid against these hard runners up in front of them.
Yeah, definitely so. Doug making a very good point, by the way, there in the chat. Did we restart World yesterday when Belby and Barak disconnected in P4 and 5? We didn't, because that was so far on in the race. We didn't. And because these drivers were going right out on track, and because it was beyond towards the end of lap 1, obviously, other admins can make the decision. Obviously, I'm commentating, so I'm drawn to commentate first and to be an admin second. That is my duty. That is my job. I want to bring you you guys the best possible action, but I can't do that if I'm also an admin and also a commentator at the same time. So I've got to try and focus on one or the other. Max Powerlow leading the way, Danny Van Ruiten there in second, then it's Rens Thomason in third. If people are saying, by the way, that it's getting rigged for a title fight, it is not. The safety car is in this lap. The safety car is in this lap. Very strange, and everyone's in an absolute hoodlum. Back and behind, the Ferrari of Tom and Josh Gilly. Tom losing a lot of positions, by the way, underneath the safety car. He's there down in 8th position with a double stack, potentially, with him and Danny Van Ruiten. But Max Power leading through the final couple of corners. We're about to get underway on lap 8, and Max Power has taken this Magello style coming through the final corner on the run toward the line. Max Power across the line will take the race lead and take obviously back us onto lap 8 out of 26. Danny Van Ruiten in second, Rens Thomason there in third, Rens on the back of Danny on the back of Max Power, looking to the inside line of turn number 3, going to try and get the job done now on the inside line of turn number 4, tries to switch it back with Max Power, is right there to defend, and defend he should, as there's a spinner quarters round.
Yeah, quarters around, but Rens is trying it down the inside, coming through entry then on Danny Van Ruiten. He needs to try and get past this Scuderia in front of him ASAP, as Max Power is not really helping the course for these hard runners in behind right now. He's been a mobile chicane for Danny Van Ruiten and Rens Thomason at this moment in the race.
Nappel looking to the inside line, however, and Josh Gilly to the inside line gets the job done. He's into 8th position. Josh trying to fight back now on the rear end of that McLaren, running in towards Maggots and Beckett's once again. Max Power leading the way. Danny Van Ruiten in second, Rens Thomason there in third. If this is getting rigged for the championship, by the way, explain why Rens Thomason's in third and Danny Van Ruiten's in second. That's not calling rigging the championship, that's calling doing your job. Max Power leading the way, Danny Van Ruiten there in second, Danny there to the inside line, tries to get the job done, through Stowe, tries to get the really good exit coming out of the corner. Rens now on the outside line, got to follow him in, sink through, beautiful from Rens Thomason. Danny Van Ruiten leads the way, Rens in second. If you can do something, I can do it better, says Rens.
Yeah, Rens following Danny Van Ruiten through immediately, not wasting any time behind Max Power. He's having the P2. Max Power, though, might have a chance to come back at him in towards the village. No, he's going to think better of it. And FRT Dan now in behind down the inside.
The RB tries to get the run coming out of the corner. Leonardo right on the front foot as well for CPI. And then it's Tom Roberts right in behind. So Shazoo right now in a very good position. Paul there, of course, out of the race for ETA. Absolutely nothing I could have done, nothing we could have done as lobby hosts to try and obviously do that. It's within the game's jurisdiction for that to happen. Unfortunately, it's happened to Paul, and that's the end of it in my eyes. We'll, of course, review it, though, after the race. Danny, though, leads the way. Ren's there in second. Max Power in third. Dan there in fourth. Tom Roberts on the inside line. On the back of Leonardo, coming through Copse Corner, the fastest part of the track, but in the end, does hold sway, Leonardo over Tom. Tom there down in P6, Justin there in P7. But Danny there leading the way. Ren's in second. Max Power there in third. Are we going to see Ren's going to go for the move on the race lead on Danny? He has got so much better power. Coming out of the corner, might be forced actually to go for this move, and he will, because Rens Thomason breezes past Danny Van Ruiten to the inside line. Job done, and ETA now can rejoice because they're in the lead of the race.
Yeah, and here comes Dan looking to the inside of Max Power into the real chicane and the wheel to wheel.
It's very aggressive from Dan to the outside line, gets forced out to dry. Now Leonardo, don't do a Karumi and Nordic Ninja, thank you. Down in towards turn number 1. Leonardo leading now in 4th. Dan there in 5th position. Tom there in 6th. Justin there in 7th. And in the end, Leonardo there in 4th. Does get the move done on Dan. And Dan getting hung out to dry again by Tom Roberts. Now to the inside line. In towards turns 3 and 4. Tries to get the job done around the outside. Tom takes a much wider line. But in the end, Justin capitalises on that and gets the move done, and now he's going to get 2 for 1 down the straight. He's right on the back of Dan. FRT against BRT. They hate each other in Legacy Division. They hate each other again here, and Justin nearly makes contact. He does. Makes contact there, slides into the side there with Dan. Dan loses the position. FRT might want to report that, but in the end, Justin through, he's into 5th. Tom there in 6th, Dan there in 7th. Dan has got still plenty of opportunity to try and go, but Napple, right on the back of him, tries to go to the inside line. Dan has got barely any ERS left. Napple through the inside line, in towards Cop's corner. Is he going to get the run on the outside and towards Maggots and Beckett? Yes, he does. Napple around the outside. That is beautiful camera work. Thank you, game. Napple through and he's into 7th. Brilliant racing.
Yeah, Napple through Dan, falling down the order, and obviously he's going to be fuming at the contact between him and Justin, but he just needs to get himself calm and composed again, I think, for Dan at the moment, and not lose his head as he's got Koolman on a set of softs in behind him now. Ooh, I think a little bit of decent contact there between Dan and Koolman.
Definitely so. Ren's there leading the way. Danny in 2nd. Max Power currently in 3rd position. Leonardo there down in 4th position. Also on the back, Koolman on the back of Dan, as you mentioned. He's on that set of soft compound tyres, so definitely will be good at this stage of the race. It's just whether or not, though, those tyres can last towards the midpoint of the race, and whether or not we're going to be seeing potential 2 stops in this race as Leonardo makes contact there with Max Power, and now it's 3 wide coming out of Aintree. Justin right on the front foot of this as well. Max Power hanging on for absolute grim life for EVE. EVE's former teammate in Leonardo trying to go all the way around the outside towards Brooklyn. Slams the door shut, does Max Power. And in the end, he's got the power to close and open doors to his heart's content. He's there in 3rd. Leonardo there in 4th. Renzo leading the way. Danny Van Ruiten there in 2nd. Max Power currently in 3rd position as it stands on lap 11 out of 26. And as I reiterate, everything will be reviewed after the race in terms of what happened with Paul, whether or not it could have been restarted. And if it is, this race may not count, and it might be run at the end of the season. So how about that? Renz leads the way. Danny in 2nd. Max Power in 3rd.
Yeah, Max holding on for dear life, but here comes Justin now side by side with Leonardo as Danny Van Ruiten takes the race lead once again. Justin around the outside of Stowe. Is he going to be able to pull this off?
Nice.
Yes, he does.
And Tom might follow through as well to the inside line. Down in towards Vale and then in towards Club Corner at turn 18. Tom might get the brilliant switchback coming out the corner, clips on the curb slightly, and now Leonardo not forcing the move, doesn't want to let that door open with Tom right in behind. Tom now on the back of Leonardo, running out through the right-hander of Abbey, through farm at turn number 2, setting this up through turn number 2, now in towards turn number 3, but he makes contact. And in the end, that could cause a little bit of carnage in behind, because there goes Napple to the inside line as well. And both CPI drivers make contact. He gets caught on the sausage curb on the inside line. Napple has ran. Very unfortunate in the end. Don't think he even realised he was on his inside line there, Leonardo. Tom there right on the front foot as well. But CPI into team war tonight in Britain, it seems.
Yep, CPI are going to be having strong words with the drivers later, with those two coming together in that manner. Obviously, it's unfortunate for Napple, and as you said, I don't think Leonardo saw him on the inside line there.
Definitely not. And now, Tom right on the front foot once again to Leonardo. But what this has done, pretty much like Console 2 earlier on, is bring the front 4 clear. Danny Van Ruiten leading the way, Renz in 2nd, Max Power in 3rd, Justin there in 4th. But Tom, right on the back of Leonardo, has to try and get this move done. It's important for Team Chazoo in their title fight. Koolman as well, NLR, trying to get the move done as well. Leonardo breezes through to the inside line. Job done for Koolman. He's down there in 6th position. But Danny Van Ruiten leads the way. Renz Thomason in 2nd, getting a little bit tactical between Team Chazoo. Renz Thomason around the outside, coming through Vale, trying to go through Club Corner, nearly making contact they go. And now the wheels apart down in towards Abbey and Farm.
Absolutely fantastic stuff between Danny Van Ruiten and Renz Thomason here, coming through the beginning lap 13 in towards Village, and Renz looking for a wider line to take a better exit here through the loop. We go onto Antry. The better traction is here for Renz Thomason. He's around the outside.
Look at Max Power. Look at Max Power in behind as well, because he's coming out like an absolute scalded cat trying to go around the outside. But in the end, Renz leads the way. Danny Van Ruiten in 2nd, Max Power in 3rd. We hold on to the lead just about with the ET8 man. But Danny Van Ruiten makes a little bit of contact, I think. Max Power just unsettling the car slightly on the rear end of Danny Van Ruiten. Danny all of a sudden behind. It's important for ET8. They've only got one driver in the mix. Tom Roberts right now is just slightly off the pace for Team Chazoo. Team Chazoo is scoring big points here, but ET8 can try and get Renz Thomason in a position where he could outscore Team Chazoo, regardless of where they finish out on track. So Renz definitely going to be important for E8. They've got to try and carry this forward. All of their weight, whatever has happened with Paul, has got to be thrown into Renz Thomason, and all of that effort has got to be put into him. There's a move going on further down the field. Quarters the inside line. There's damage there for Justin. Left side end plate, I think, has gone off the car. Certainly a bit of carbon fibre flying, and I think Justin has got left side end plate damage on the car. Yes, he does.
Yeah, Justin had to look at the inside into a Stowe on max power. Contact made. Front wing damage for Justin, and I don't know if Tom Roberts, Coleman, and Leonardo, and of course FRT Dan, if they would have seen that front wing fly off, but they need to be very careful now when they come to the back of Justin.
They've definitely seen it fly off because they are hassling all over the back of Max Power, all over the back as well of Justin ahead. Justin, though, is going to try to move on Danny Van Ruiten. Dan straight in towards Brooklands. Not quite close enough, though. Dan certainly around the outside, and Leonardo was close enough, though. Trying to get the move on the outside line. Now for the inside line in towards the field. Not going to work. Renz Thomason leads the way. Danny Van Ruiten there in second. Then it's Justin in third. Max Power in fourth. Then Tom, Kuhlman, Leonardo, Dan, Quartz, and Josh Gilly top 10. Crowding, Ismail, Duncan, Mad Dogs, and Napple top 15. Agonising Deschel right down the back of the field. Deschel pitting in back 2 laps ago on a fresh set of medium compound tires. We're going to try and get some form of undercut, I think, going on there in 17th for TTM right now. But Josh Gilly, sorry, not Josh Gilly, Renz Thomason leads to the right. Danny Van Ruiten in second. Justin there in third. Justin on the back of Renz, on the back of Danny. We're going to try and make the overtake stick. Danny to the inside line, might be forced into the move. Renz moves across to him slightly, just shuts the door on him enough, and Danny Van Ruiten can't get the move done.
No, not at this stage. Danny Van Ruiten has to stay in behind Renz for the time being, but he'll be thankful that he did not end up getting overtaken by Justin, who was looking pretty close to trying to make the overtake happen around the outside of Danny there on the exit of Stowe.
Definitely not. And now Danny has to try and settle his sights once again on the back of Renz. Remember, the set of hard compound tyres probably can get to the end of the race. Then on a set of medium compound tyres, Max Power's still going. He has to come in the pits. Kuhlman will not make it to the end of the race. So really it concerns everyone down right now to Josh Gilly and Crowding, I would say. Potentially in that mix as well. Danny Van Ruiten setting his sights again on Renz Thomason in towards Brooklands, but again, not quite close enough. So everything now being brought into a little bit of a hum, a little bit of a quietness in this period of the race. Lap 15 out of 26. Drivers preparing for the full rated throttle right to the checkered flag in this race. So it's going to be really intriguing, I think, to see how everything gets on. But Renz leading the way. Danny Van Ruiten in second, Justin in third. I will reiterate the point that I made a little bit earlier on. As there, Dan, Leonardo, side by side nearly.
Yeah, Dan got a fantastic run out of Cops.
Oh, no way. No way.
Beautiful stuff here from Dan.
And in the end, could that be counted as a push to pass? Probably not, but in the end, he's through, he's into 7th, but there's a world there's a way, and Renz Thomason now to the inside line, Dan Van Ruiten, all beginning to kick off once again on the outside line. Tom right on the back of Max Power. Max Power's a rolling roadblock right now for the man of Team Jizu. Trying to go now, switching it back to the inside line. Tom Roberts to the inside line, looking to try and do a Lewis Hamilton. Doesn't in the end, but Max Power hanging on for 4th, and to be honest, Mike, he is hanging on for absolute grim death out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear what he's thinking right now. I think he's going to try and take these mediums until he can jump onto a set of softs and try his best to carve his way back for the field if possible. But I just don't know how this is going to work for Max Power. But right now he is fighting for absolutely every inch of track he can absolutely get out there on the circuit to keep Tom Roberts and Kuhlman in behind.
And Tom's again trying to get the switch back on the back of Max Power in towards Luffield we go once again on lap 16 out of 26. There's 10 laps to go after this, and this could go any sort of way in this race between now and then. Danny though leading the way. Renz Thomason there in second. Justin there in third. Max Power, Tom, then Kuhlman, Dan, Quartz, Leonardo, Josh Gilly, all in this train. All in the top 10. Crowding not too far off this. If it does get a little bit spicy ahead, Crowding can get back into contention for BRT. And that might not be bad news for Justin, because Justin's on that set of hard compound tyres. He's got left side end plate damage on the car. But to be honest, it's not really affected him, because he's in that DRS train. There are more straights around here than corners. And that means you can gain more speed. And Justin is finding that out. However, he is wide coming through Stowe. Oh, and Tom Roberts gets caught right on the apex there, coming through Stowe. And in the end, Tom Roberts in 5th. Nearly made a slight mistake.
Yeah, nearly, and I think see for Tom Roberts, he needs to get past Max Power very quickly. He's just starting to see that gap begin to build now between Max Power and Justin, and it's not gonna take too long for Max Power to drop outside that 1 second window at this rate.
And I think it could be the time is now, maybe, for him to drop outside of the second. But Tom needs this move. Needs this move on the back of Max Power. Max is carrying too much straight line speed, I think, for Tom to even get close. And now Tom Roberts has to try to the inside line. Has to try and lay on all of that experience, all of that will, all of that way. Hand of rage that Max Power sent round. But in the end, I think it was more him understeering into Tom. Tom throwing his into fourth. Max Power all the way down in seventh now. Good news for Team Shazoo. Bad news if you Max Power, because he's still got to come in the pipeline. He's there down in 7th position, definitely expecting to try and cause some form of a little bit of carnage right now in this race, given where he's positioned out on track.
Yeah, and I think Max Power will probably be into the pits at the end of this lap. Now to switch on to, well, I would imagine it's going to be a set of soft compound tyres to the end. Looking at how long Koolman's taking his tyres, but look at this. As Renz Thomason gets through, as Justin takes a very tight line. He could get 2 for 1 here, James.
And he could be 3 wide in towards Valen Club if they're not careful. Renz leads the way. Danny and Justin second and third. Do not do a Karumi. Do not do a Nordic Ninja, please. Just about, and it's going to be 3 wide down the straight towards car number 1. Danny Van Rijten trying to fight all the way around the outside. Justin there through the middle. Renz Thomason holds the lead, and they're still keeping this relatively clean. Justin and Danny Van Rijten, Tom getting the mix as well. Running behind. Danny Van Rijten to the inside line. Shooting with a wounded car. Justin has to try something to try and just get ahead of Danny in this battle. But Danny Van Rijten and Justin absolutely widths apart. They are drawn quite literally by wheel length down in towards the left-hander of Brooklands. Danny Van Rijten, though, inside line, comes for him, gets the job done. Beautiful racing between the both of them.
That was fantastic for the entire first sector. Side-by-side action between Danny Van Rijten and Justin here. And look at Tom Roberts over the back of Justin, looking to take advantage of that battle, and he's on the inside line for Cobbs now. Down the inside goes Tom Roberts, and this will be fantastic.
Here comes the box. Here comes the box. Tom's going to get the move on Danny as well. This is going to be well orchestrated. Brilliant stuff by Team Shazoo in the end. Well orchestrated. Tom Roberts in second. Danny Van Rijten in third. Danny now is going to be put now, Justin, back into Koolman. Back into Dan. Dan is the one to watch out for now. 59% of ERS. He's coming into play. Danny gets the move done back on Tom. Thank you very much, say the Shazoo man. On the other man, and now Koolman gets wide. Coming out of the apex. Dan on the outside line now with Koolman. Koolman still has to try and get those tyres toward the end of the race if he can, but Dan to the inside line gets the move done. Koolman being forced off wide, and there's a spin out. Leonardo was round, and it's getting all too chaotic.
Yeah, a little bit of contact as well I saw between Quartz and Koolman. They're coming through the club corner, and Koolman's able to hold on to P6, but it is getting a little bit dicey out there on track, James.
It's getting rather dicey out on track. I think the stewards are going to be very busy, not only with the potential, all of that saga around Paul, but also potentially with incidents as well. We're going to be one very, very busy people right now. Renzo leading the way, Danny in second, Tom there in third, Justin there in fourth. To be fair, Justin is hanging in there very well indeed. He's got that left side end plate damage. It is visible. He has probably got either yellow or orange wing damage, but he is still in P4. I would have expected him, honestly, to plummet down the field and be aware Leonardo crowding is right now, but he is keeping up with these guys, and it's testament to the car and to the driver working as one, and Justin right now is working as one with that car, even though it's stricken.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, we could be getting round 2 between Justin and Dan here. BRT, FRT, and hopefully it doesn't end in calamity like it did last time for Dan, but Justin
beautiful.
Side of Tom, but unable to get that done as
Here's the box.
Takes the racing.
Oh, Danny Van Rijten's locked up. Danny Van Rijten locks up there in toward the right-hander now of Valen Club. And in the end, Renz Thomason realised that and now brings Tom Roberts Justin completely into play. And now Dan looking to the move on the inside line in towards Abbey and Farm through turns 1 and 2. Dan nearly running across the track there slightly on the curb. Now to the inside line in towards turn 3. Justin collects Tom. Tom nearly sent round. Justin there and Dan snap side by side. down on the outside line, trying to get the move done. Is the rain going to be happening in this race? It's coming over rather cloudy now in the middle sector. Danny leads the way. Ren's there in second. Tom Roberts in third. That could have easily the end of a hell of a lot worse. Josh Gilly and Leonardo, in the meantime, are inside of each other. Down towards Brooklands, and they make contact. Leonardo on the back of Max Power. Max Power now inside of each other and Leonardo. This is getting all too chaotic.
Yeah, all too chaotic indeed. And lap 20 or 26. I'm starting to wonder, does Max Power realise he's not making a pit stop yet?
He probably has. He probably just wants to cause Max Carnage rather than Max Power out on track.
I suppose we have to wait and see, but Max Power currently P9 on 19 lap old mediums. I mean, he's done incredibly well to keep in this training for as long as he has on those tyres. He is looking to continuously try to make overtakes happen as he tries to go around the outside of Leonardo here through Cobbs. Not going to work out. He decides to stay out. He's not going to come into the pits.
He's not going to come in the pit lane. Is there rain forecast? That's the only thing I could think of why he is continuing on, because he's going to be down at the back of the field. He realises his own fate. He's going to be picking up 3 points. Is he just want to call? Does he just want to try and get to the end of the race on those tyres? He can not, because obviously he's still yet to come in the pit lane. He's got to make one mandatory stop, of course, within the race. And Max Power and Leonardo, speaking of which, are now side by side coming through Aintree at turn number 5. And Max Power again is always sideways. His tyres are gone. He needs to come in the pit lane. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what EVE are doing right now, but they need to pit him in. I think there's either 2 things at play. There might be a little bit of rain forecast right at the end of the race, or Ismail, they're down in 13th. That's the plan for Max Power to try and hold everyone up. But right now, it's not going according to plan because he's got hardly anybody around him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously behind Max Power, you also got Coolman and Crowd in there in the 10th and 11th. Then there's a 5-second gap back to Napol in 12th, and you got Ismail on the back of him. So I just don't see this working out well for Max Power if that's the game plan. There has to be rain.
There has to be. I don't know anymore. I really don't. That's 22 out of 26. Justin right on the back of Tom. Tom nearly into the back there. Ren's looking up into the apex there of the corner. And now Danny leading the way. Ren's in second. Tom there in third. At this moment in time, Team Shazoo getting that big amount of points. But still, Ren's could do something for E8. They could cook something up special with Ren's Thomason. He's in the best seat in the house. I think he's in the best position right now, actually, out on track. In second. Tom there in third. Team Shazoo will try their tactics, but we have seen so many times with Ren's Thomason, he always has an answer to Team Shazoo's tactics. He was once, of course, amongst these drivers in the same team at one stage in his career, and Ren's there in second, right on the back of Danny, knows him very well from PSF1, knows Tom very well of PSF1, so he has worked out the traits and the tricks of all of their drivers. So Ren's at the minute in second, doing a phenomenal job. But is he in the best seat in the house? That is going to be the determining factor.
I mean, right now, obviously, Renz is definitely in the best seat of the house. It's a case of when does that game of DRS switcheroo towards the end of the race begin to happen between these guys?
Honestly, next lap. I honestly think next lap. Because Renz, Danny, they will fight very aggressively side by side. Quartz and Dan, speaking of which, swapping positions as well. Tom to the inside line of Renz. Not quite managing the move. But I think in the end, I think what's going to happen is Team Shazoo are going to have to try and force Renz's hand. And that was the inside line. Goes Tom on the back of Renz. Nearly forces the hand. Literally, as I say that out of my mouth. Tom Roberts, though, absolutely sideways coming through the corner. Just now on the front foot. Now down towards Abbey and Farm. All of that hard work that Tom did, he now has to fight back.
I think that was a game plan right there. Tom putting Renz under pressure, using a bit of battery to try and force Renz into using his battery. And obviously, if Renz is depleting his battery to defend from Tom, he's not going to have the battery to overtake Danny.
And look at Justin right on the back of Tom. Tom is going to have to find, there was a yellow flag out on track. That's Dettel round coming to the right-hander there. And I think into the pit lane maybe to retire the car potentially down there in P17. But Danny there leading the way. Ren's in second. Tom there in third. Cloud still building over the circuit. It's still, though, Sunny out on track, which means we are going to get this race right to the checkered flag. Almost had to look twice there because I thought I saw rain on my screen. It definitely isn't. Danny leading the way. Ren's in second. Tom there in third. If there is any rain going to come, it's the final lap of the race. It is now boom or bust for these drivers. It's who is going to roll the dice. Quartz in the meantime all over the back of Justin. Justin's car now carrying with that wing damage. Danny now escaping up the road by 5/10. Ren's pulled away from Tom. Second and third. Justin right on the back as well. He might be the one to try and get the move done. On the outside line goes Tom. On the back of Ren's. Ren's hangs him out to dry, but he's still there, Tom. He's still there, Tom. And now Shazoo's going to have to play the games. On lap 23 out of 26, Tom takes the race lead. Danny Van Mouten in second. Justin there in third. And Rens Thomason has gone from literally first to nothing. And Danny Van Mouten has a bit of a ghost. Has he got damage, Danny Van Mouten?
I don't think he got damaged, but he did get locked wheel to wheel with Justin there coming through club. And had a bit of a wiggle, which I think was what caused the bit of ghosting, which for Danny Van Mouten there. But Dan now up in the P3,
Look at...
and Danny Van Mouten has to try and get back through, but he's got Renz all over the back of him here.
Justin's all over the back of Tom. Could Justin with a stricken car win this race? He's trying to bump draft, he's trying to brake. Danny Van Mouten's hard and Dan's hard in behind as well. Danny to the inside line now. On the back, Shazoo have got one plan in mind, and that is now to try and get either of them into the race lead. But this is like PSGLE series all over again. Danny Van Mouten and Justin side by side. Tom, three wide and towards Cobbs. This is never going to work. Dan right on the back. Ren's right on the back as well. How on earth are they getting out of this all clean? Just about Justin. Now forced the inside line. Leonardo in this. Ren's Thomason in this. There's 4 or 5 wide. This is unbelievable. And it ends in absolute carnage. It was going to happen. That was inevitable. Quartz off. Ren's off. Dan off as well. Stewards are going to have a look at that. Danny Van Mouten leads the way. Justin in second. Tom in third. One of the worst incidents I've seen in the ML. Simple as that. Simple as that. No words.
I have no words.
No words. And look, into the pit lane, Max Power comes. Max Power, and Justin's got more damage, I think. On the right side, M plate on that car. In fact, actually, he's running a T-tray. Left side M plate, I think, now damage for Justin. Danny Van Mouten leads the way. Justin in second, Tom in third. Right now, at this moment in time, with the tactics that Shazoo have developed, with obviously Danny, Tom trying to get a 1-2, has that now gone into ET8's favour with what happened there?
I honestly don't know. I mean, on the approach towards Marcus and Beckett, I mean, I was on board with Renz. He was directly behind Justin, but you could see that they were 3 wide, and none of them wanted to take the lead. They were all kind of backing up.
Please? Are we back?
I can hear you. I can hear you. You're back.
I'm back, good. I thought it was you that went. I was just about to come in. But in the end, whatever you were saying, I don't know what was going on. Danny Van Mouten leads the way. Justin there in second. Tom Roberts there in third. Duncan and Mad Dogs have had an incident for the downfield. Dettel as well as spun. But Danny Van Mouten leading on to the final lap of the race. And it's all kicking off in behind. Tom's forced off the track. And now Leonardo side by side with them as well. Shazoo now all of a sudden, that could be their own downfall. Tom there down in fourth. In the end, though, Danny Van Mouten leads on to the final lap of the race. Justin there in second. Justin bids the game completely from Shazoo right now. Josh Gilly is in third. Leonardo and Crowding are side by side as well. This race is going to take a hell of a lot of getting over, and Crowding gets a 3-second penalty. That may be removed. Oh my word! Leonardo and Crowding off the track, off in the wall. This is absolute madness. This is idiotic racing if I've ever seen it. Danny Van Mouten leads the way from Justin there in second. Josh Gilly there currently in third position. One of the worst races I think I've ever had to bear witness to, and that is forgetting about what happened there with ET8 Paul early on in the race. This race has been nothing short of an absolute joke from some of the drivers out on track. Danny Van Mouten leading the way. Justin there in second. Josh Gilly there currently in third position. Tom there in fourth. At this moment in time, it's a 1-2 battle between Danny and Justin. Coming now through the right-hander of Beckett. Now through Chappell, the left-hander. On the run down in towards Stowe. Danny Van Ryten has taken the race lead, but whether or not he will keep that remains to be seen. Justin now in towards the right-hander now of Stowe, coming through the final corner in one of the worst races I think EML has had to ever bear witness to. Danny Van Ryten now coming through the final couple of corner with a big shadow over him, I've got to say as well. Danny Van Ryten on the run to the line takes the win in Britain. Justin there in second, Josh Gilly in third, Tom there in fourth. Priding's got a 10-second penalty. Quartz has got a 20-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag as well. But Danny takes the race win. Justin in second, Josh Gilly in third. Whether or not this race will count remains to be seen after that stupid, idiotic driving from a number of drivers out on track. You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
Likewise, I have no words, James. I have no words.
Yeah. Just stupid. Really bad racing. Really bad racing out on track. I know there's a big old DRS train and everything around there. But in the end, Danny Van Ryten takes the race win. Whether or not he will keep that is going to be the big, big shadow overhanging this race. With what Team Shazoo try to do, everyone backing up the pack, 3 wide and behind as well, in towards Maggots and Beckett. Never, ever gonna work. Ever gonna work. Drivers know better than this. They race week in and week out, and they know better than that, and I expected more from them, if I've got to be honest as well. But in the end, Danny Van Ryten does take the race win in a rather overshadowed British Grand Prix. Justin there in second, Josh Gilly in third. They may get worse than second in this race. Who knows where this is going to go. Tom Roberts there in fourth, Ren's there in fifth, Leonardo in sixth, Kuhlman in seventh, Ismail in eighth, Duncan ran off the top 9, and Nappel ran off the top 10. Dan in 11th, Agonize in 12th, Crowding in 13th, Max Power in 14th, Mad Dogs in 15th, Quartz in 16th. Detol finished lap down, but he did finish under his own volition with the fastest lap. Kurumi, Nordic Ninja, and Paul. Nordic Ninja and Kurumi crashing out together, and Paul, of course, retiring with issues further down at the back end of the field. My word, that was a pretty chaotic race. I'm not even going to go and spare the privilege of running through the calendar after that. We are going to end off the live stream right here and right now. Thank you so much for watching League Racing TV and for EML tonight. We will see you, hopefully, next week.